You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and on the show, as always, we got a fan favorite, DC, chiming in. What's going on, DC?
What? Oh, I got a proper introduction today.
You always get a proper introduction on the Sports Coma, my man.
I didn't get a proper introduction last time.
There you go. Well, this is podcast 220 on the Sports Coma, episode 220 on the Sports Coma. Of course, this is a very special episode because we'll be recapping the Saints versus the Chargers game in California. The Saints, of course, got the win, a very impressive win, by the way. Good effort by the team overall. They beat them 36-7, and we'll recap that today.
Hey, hold up, man.
Just a second, DC. Let's get through that.
Good effort by the second team. They need a round of applause because our first team played like crap.
Well, I said overall team effort. It wasn't.
Don't be giving effort to people who don't deserve it.
All right, here we go. Now, in today's topics, we'll be discussing, of course, the recap in the 36-7 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. We'll also have interviews from Coach Payton, defensive end Marcus Davenport. We'll also have Taysom Hill chime in, Drew Brees, and cornerback Marcus Williams, not safety Marcus Williams, but defensive back Marcus Williams. And also in some of the topics we'll hit after our interviews, we'll talk about the first team offense and defensive woes. Of course, you heard DC chiming in saying that, talking about the first team's offense and defensive woes. It took a while for those guys to get going. We'll break down both those first team units didn't look good. Of course, then we'll have our segment where we have thumbs up and thumbs down. We'll give credit or curse to players that played really well and some who didn't. And of course, really excited about this part of the show. We added a new part to the show today. It's called the Sports Coma Question of the Day, where we ask you, that's right, the listeners of the Sports Coma, all our people out there with those great Saints brains, to chime in and answer this question. I'm talking about every last one of you guys that's listening. I want to know what you think about this question, and we'll tell you about that question, which is, does cornerback, remember, not safety, but cornerback Marcus Williams, who played for the Jets and the Texans, does he make the team over cornerback PJ Williams? That is something we want to know from you. What do you think? Tell us, every last one of you guys, yay or nay, break it down, put it in the comment section. Let us know what you think. I really want to know. And we're going to read some of your replies on the next show that we do from the Sports Coma 221. Also, we'll go over one of DC's favorite topics, of course, during the show, which is AJ Klein, linebacker AJ Klein, in trouble?
Yes.
In trouble, in danger of missing the team? Is he not going to make the roster? Is he in danger of being traded?
Yes.
Is he in danger of being traded? Is he in
Yes.
danger of losing his starting position? We're going to answer that question. DC is raring to go at the bit. So, but without further ado, let's get right on to it, man. Saints get the win over the Chargers, DC. And it was a effort that I wasn't too particularly impressed with the first team offense and defense. They eventually did do a little something toward the back end, but they didn't look really good at all against the first team Chargers, man. And of course we know that, they got, some extended moments in this game, and it just, I don't know. Sometimes, you got to have the first units to kind of play together a little bit more. They can build that harmony. Remember last year when we started off the season, we started off slow until we caught fire. So I'm hoping it don't start off as slow as we did last year. But in this game, and I know it's just a preseason game, that's all we can go off. But looking at some of the statistics, DC, overall, team-wise, the Saints, to me, man, I don't know where to begin, man, to be honest with you. In this contest, Tom Savage, of course, was 7 to 10 for 99 yards, but Taysom Hill was the man in my eyes. He was the guy responsible for a couple of touchdowns. He ran for another one, leading the team in rushing during the preseason. He even threw a strike, in the game. So the Saints total plays 60 versus what the Chargers were able to muster with 52. The Saints had 334 total yards versus 166 by the Chargers, so they did hold them in check as far as that to go. The Saints collectively 224 passing, 21 of 27 in the completions, one interception thrown. They, of course, did their best to come up with some really good plays. And rushing-wise, the Saints were kind of late. The backup backs like Bo Scott and all those guys kind of tended. Williams wasn't really effective in this game, but they had 110 total yards rushing versus 104 from the Chargers. Then, of course, the Saints did have more penalties, which is very disconcerting. 8 penalties for 58 yards again in the game. They did have that one turnover. And statistically, looking at some of the statistical stuff, DC, dealing with some of the guys, starting just with the offense, then we'll go to the defense. Tom Savage, of course, led out effort. He was 7 to 10 for 99 yards. I'm going to have you to tell me what you thought about that. Mr. Taysom Hill, man, 7 of 8 for 66 yards, had a touchdown in the game. He was sacked one time. That's the only one the Saints gave up all game long. Taysom Hill, of course, like I said, he led the team in rushing. 6 carries, 35 yards, almost 6 carries, 6 yards average. One touchdown score on the set. He had the longest run was a 17-yard scamper. Mark Ingram looked pretty good in this game, 7 carries for 24 yards. Bo Scott, he had getting 6 carries for 18 yards. Alvin Kamara had 4 carries for 16 yards, had a touchdown, although he did drop a third down ball, which I was like, how the hell he dropped that one? But, even the best guys make mistakes sometimes. In the receiving game, Traquan Smith was the man. Again, he had 4 catches for 39 yards and a touchdown. He looked terrific. To be quite honest with you, when you look at some of these other guys that played, Mike Thomas, he made a couple of catches in this game. Tommy Lee had more yardage. He had a really nifty over-the-shoulder catch. 2 catches for 45 yards for him. Of course, Shane Vereen caught 3 for 18. Of course, Mark Ingram, Ted Ginn Jr. both had a couple of catches. Bo Scott, Alvin Kamara, and Benjamin Watson all had a reception as well in this game. Now, just sticking to the offense, DC, come on and tell me what your analysis was on the offense and how they played against the Chargers.
Overall, I think the offense played excellent. Early in the game, against our first team, I think we looked real stagnant. We looked almost anemic even with Drew Brees out there, but understandable. Drew Brees probably ain't played football in about, 4, 5 months in the actual real game. So, it wasn't as exciting as you would like in the first quarter. But with Sean Payton taking, chance, being a little bit of a riverboat gambler like Riverboat Ron, going for it on 4th down, and having that fake punt with Taysom Hill. After that, it seemed like the rhythm and the momentum started to pick up, and it was all downhill from that. Every point after that, we were scoring a field goal or a touchdown. So I think it was just a matter of them getting in the groove and knocking off some rust. I think the offense overall looked pretty good, man. I wish we could have seen more from our rushing attack later in the game. I was a little disappointed with that. There wasn't a whole lot of running lanes for them to run through, so kind of understandable.
The second team did step up, and that seems to be the trend with the second team coming in late, making plays, ensuring that the Saints have the victories. They play well in the second half. Like you said, I think it's one of those timing things where the Saints just working out, getting all those pieces together and flowing in the same direction, building that harmony. And I think that it'll come just because I got faith. I have faith in Sean Payton and Drew Brees, so what they've been able to do over a long period of time here in New Orleans. So why would it not work this year with all of these different weapons? It's only a matter of time before it kick in. Looking at the defense now, DC, the defense had a few things to be impressed by in this game. They did force a turnover. They did have 4 sacks in the game, and they did overall, they held the San Diego Chargers to 166 total yards, regardless if that's a preseason game or not. That is an impressive stat. Anytime you heard any professional NFL, the 166 yards totally. So
pretty good,
that's quite the accomplishment for any defense to perform on such a talented team as the Los Angeles Chargers, not the San Diego, but the Los Angeles Chargers. So, like we said, big time, nice play indeed by the second teamers, but we still got to give credit where credit's due on the defensive side. But Marshawn Lattimore led the team in tackles. He had 5 total tackles. Five of those were solo tackles. Big ups to him. We also had a guy by the name of Marcus Williams performing. He had 4 tackles in the game and 1 pass defense. He also had a QB hit in the game. And we talk about Marcus Williams, the cornerback now. Cornerback, not the safety. Von Bell was second. And big ups to Von Bell, who didn't do so well against Arizona. But Von Bell, it was very, very good game for Von Bell. I love that he was all on the plays. He was active, hitting and making plays, making tackles. Big ups to him. Manti Te'o played well in this game as well, as he had 3 tackles, one of them for a loss. Demario Davis once again showed up again as well. Double D is the man as well. He showed up in this game. He had got 3 tackles in the game. And of course, one of my favorite guys on the team, besides Double D and the rest of those guys, AJ Klein, he showed up with 3 tackles in the game. Justin Hardy had 3 tackles in the game. So did Marcus Davenport, who had a half a sack and a consistent amount of pressure. He had a QB hit as well. Sherrod Niesman had 3 tackles in the game. And then, of course, Woody Hamilton, Craig Robinson, Nate Stupar, Chris Banjo, Mitchell Lowen, Ken Crawley, Natrell Jamerson, David Onyemata, Devereaux Lawrence, Haloi Kakaha, and Marcus Williams, the safety, all had a couple of tackles in the game. Of course, Craig Robertson did have a half a sack. He had a pick that was called back. Too bad for him, but he was active in the game. And, of course, half a sacks by Devereaux Lawrence and David Onyemata in this contest. George Johnson, he got a nice little sack late in the game, as well as the Saints had 4 of those bad boys in the game. And of course, Marcus Williams probably had the play of the game, where he was able to pick off the ball and ran 58 yards for a pick 6. So anytime we can get an interception plus a pick 6 is a beautiful thing. And the Saints were able to turn it on in a major capacity. Of course, Will Lutz on the special team was 2 of 2. Of course, Thomas Morstead, the Hall of Fame punter, 2 punts for 102 yards. He put 1 inside the 20. And the top return man was Tommy Lee. 3 returns for 18 yards. 8 yard was the longest one. Tommy Lee just don't have the feeling on that special teams. Okay, DC, now that we finished with that, talk to me about the defense. What was not so good about the defense to you?
Oh, my first team run defense, primarily to the left side. Every time they ran on the left side with Trey Hendrickson and AJ Klein over there early in the game, they were gashing us for major yards. They refused to run at Cam Jordan, and rightfully so. And I guess going into the game, you really can't find a lot of negatives with the defense other than us not seizing opportunities to get sacks. It easily could have been a 7 to 8 sack game for us. We left some sacks on the table. Other than that, I would say guys like Ken Crawley not getting their head around to see some of those wild throwaways they were trying to have by us putting pressure on the quarterback. So it's not really a lot of negatives. I would say on the defense, other than earlier in the game, basically not stopping the run. And you can see with a guy like Marshawn Lattimore has 5 tackles. I mean, you're like, oh, yeah, that's the rookie, the sophomore player. He played good. He got 5 tackles, but you don't want your cornerback to have 5 tackles. And he got that pretty much in a quarter and a half of play. So that means the defense was basically making it past the first and second line of defense again. And obviously they couldn't pass very well on us, so most of that was in the run game.
Very good. Now, before we hit the break, got a few minutes before we hit the break, we're going to do our thumbs up and thumbs down segment right quick. DC, thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me one player who was excellent in this game to you and one player that was not so excellent.
You're probably not going to like my not so excellent because, again, man, it's going to be AJ Klein for me. Not so excellent because I expect a lot more out of him. And I would expect him to seize the opportunity to be a starter on the weak or the strong side, and he's not doing that. So that's my thumbs down. Thumbs up is going to be Taysom Hill comes in and he redeems himself from last week when he had a pretty much atrocious game. No turnovers, and he seized the opportunity by making plays all over the field. Didn't really make any mistakes, so that's good.
All right, well, I appreciate that. And my thumbs, I will give mine right quick. My thumbs up will go to cornerback Marcus Williams, who played in this game. Not only did he have the only interception of the game for the Saints, picking off the quarterback and running 50-something yards for a touchdown, but he also had 4 tackles in the game as well and 1 pass defense, 1 QB hit. So Marcus Williams was quite active. He was 1 tackle off from catching Marshawn Lattimore for the top tackle during this game. So big ups and big thumbs to Marcus Williams, the cornerback, Marcus Williams. My thumbs up. Now, my thumbs down would have to go toward DC for picking A.J. Klein. Just messing with you. But I think my thumbs down would probably go to running back Shane Vereen. I thought Shane Vereen is playing more like Ben Vereen. But I think he had an opportunity. The Saints gave him a lot of reps to see what he can do. Just didn't look like he had the shiftiness that we expect for a back like that to have. And I don't think he seized the day well enough in this game. Of course, he did have 3 catches for 18 yards. He was targeted 3 times, the longest of which was a 13-yard catch. And he also was, the Saints gave him an opportunity to run the ball as well. And he finished with 2 carries for 2 yards. It just didn't look good for Shane Vereen. And I'm right with the prediction that was made a couple of shows ago saying that Shane Vereen probably won't make the final cut unless injuries happen to the running back room that forced the Saints to hold on to him. But that'll do it for the first segment. That's jam-packed first segment of the show. When we come back, we're going to hit our other topics. We're going to hit all those interviews. We got Taysom Hill coming up, Drew Brees, cornerback Marcus Williams, defensive end Marcus Davenport. All those guys is going to come chime in with their thoughts on the game. We got that sports coma question today that we're going to ask you. You guys could be writing it down right now. And then, of course, the last question, of course, DC can't wait for this one about A.J. Klein. Is he in trouble? We'll hit all that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. You listen to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the Guy.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.
What's up, Sports World? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace spray, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to the poshlifestyle.com. That's the Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE style.com. Put in the Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with the Posh Lifestyle.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we're recapping the Saints' 36-7 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. About to go right into the segment of the show and playing interviews. And first up is Coach Sean Payton. We'll hear what the coach had to say after the game. Here's Payton.
It didn't start off like we wanted, obviously, with the turnover. And fortunately, we were able to force a 4-and-out. But then I thought as that first quarter continued, we were able to turn the momentum in our favor, and we did a lot of things that were encouraging. We'll look at the tape tomorrow and probably have a little bit clearer picture of how guys did individually. But I thought they played with good energy in all the phases. I thought the kicking game particularly was solid. Our situational football I thought was good. At the end of the half, we were able to get a short field with the punt and then convert it into a field goal. But there'll be a lot of things to coach up on this film, and we'll have time to do it.
That's Coach Sean Payton breaking down his thoughts on the game. Coach Payton, man, has to be happy about the fact that how his second team guys play. Of course, he might have a little concern about the first team guys, but I'm pretty sure Coach is we're gonna eventually work that out. Let's talk to the quarterback, Taysom Hill, to see what his thoughts are after the game.
What will you remember most about the way you played tonight?
Good question. I think overall, look, in the long run, I want to play quarterback. And so I think just being able to operate efficiently and effectively inside this offense has always been my mindset this training camp. It's fun to be able to go and add value. I think it creates some unique bonds. I got some great friends on the team, and being able to run down on kickoff and on punt return and punt and all that stuff is a ton of fun for me as well. And I think overall just being able to be out on the field in different capacities was really memorable tonight.
Take some nice bounce back game. Is this a situation where I guess you don't want to get too high or after this week or too low after last week?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think everyone that's played the position can look back in their career and they can see highlights and they can see games where like, oh, man, I'd love to have that game back and I can do better there. And I'll certainly look at this tape and I'll say the same thing. I can do things better, but look at some things to say that I did well. So I think overall it's having the same mentality and staying constant. I would say that is something that Drew does really well, and I had the unique opportunity to see him do that all season last year. And so he's been a great mentor.
That's Taysom Hill, man, talking about his progressions going on with special teams, the offense, and the fact that he wants to get better. And that's the right mentality to have if you're a second-string quarterback that happens to play special teams. And a lot of the guys there feel like Taysom Hill is a very special member of the team. So they are right. Taysom Hill is a very unique player. And speaking of unique players, let's listen to a very talented defensive end who, despite not playing pretty much large slots of the preseason and in practice, was still able to make a really good impact.
You know, I'm a really tough critic even for myself, so I say I did okay. I could have done some things better. Finishing on the quarterback, closing better. I would say using more rush moves. No. Yeah, no, that's fun. I was nervous pregame, but actually getting out there helped me calm down, and I was really just happy to be able to play with my teammates, like actually play.
Was it better to have to go on and put this trade and get out for a moment there, or would it have been more nerve-wracking to wait till the schedule restricted time? Help us understand if that was a bit of a surprise or maybe react to that.
It's kind of weird. It happened exactly like my freshman year in college. You know, they drive down the field, something happens, and then they call me up, and I was just like, dang, hey, this is cool. We in it.
I know you're kind of new to the three-point. How did you get out there?
Yeah, I still have to work on it. Sometimes I have to refine my technique because of how I change it up. You know, sometimes I, in-game adjust, but it's feeling pretty good.
That play in the end around that was early in your snaps, how was that like an icebreaker? How much better did you feel after making that play?
Honestly, I saw it and I was like, wait, they did the same thing in practice. And then I was like, oh, I was running. I was like, oh, no, he ain't going to get me this time. And then he cut up, and I was like, oh, no, But I was able to, get the tackles. It was cool. Not much to talk about.
That's Marcus Davenport, man. Marcus Davenport breaking down this game and what he's seeing. And if he keeps doing the type of stuff that we see in this game with very little practice, and the guy still had a performance like that, I mean, this we expecting big things from Mr. Davenport. And that's not just us. He's saying that, man. He's expecting big things from himself. As you heard, he's a tough critic of himself. But let's listen to another guy that's a tough critic of himself and damn near perfectionist, Mr. Drew Brees.
Nice to be able to punch one in there. I guess what was that, beginning of the second quarter. Could have got longer, but It's just at that stage where you're kind of chomping at the bit, ready to go. But, we had a plan in place that was, to play a certain number of snaps. That was the number of snaps we played. It's, it's just once you get in the flow of things, you start having fun.
You get a touchdown, that makes it a lot easier to come out.
Yeah. You want to end on a high note. But listen, we've gotten a lot of good work done this camp, and a lot of good work done this week with the Chargers, practicing against them for a few days. Would have liked to have maybe scored more than once tonight. We had a couple opportunities. Like I said, it just took us 2 or 3 drives to get going. But glad that we were able to get the points that we got, spread it around. Everybody got some touches, so I think it was a productive night. Just forced it. Got a little over-aggressive to start the game. Well, that's part of it. We're got a couple guys that. Listen, you wish you could keep 7 or 8, right? I think there's 7 or 8 that deserve that, but unfortunately, it's. I don't know how many we're going to end up keeping at the receiver position. Some of that depends upon what's happening elsewhere, and what type of special teams contributions or return contributions those guys make as well. So we'll see how it shakes out, but whoever we do decide with, I think the roles will be clear and defined, and we'll be ready to move forward.
That's Drew Brees, man. You can't get more decisive than that. Drew saying he'd like to keep 7 or 8 of them, they deserve it, but of course, like Traquan Smith told you last show, it's a dog-eat-dog world in the NFL, and he's not lying to you. And, of course, you got to make really outstanding plays to really stand out. And as a part of the questions, the Sports Coma's question of the day, we have one of these young men that's a part of the question, and we'll play him next. It's Marcus Williams, who had the play of the day, the interception return for a touchdown. Here is Marcus Williams, the cornerback, Marcus Williams, with his first time chiming on the Sports Coma. Here we go.
We had a cover 0 call, and was playing off at 9 yards. I seen a receiver. I seen him he was running toward me like he was trying to sell the deep route. I knew the ball had to come out quick, so I just stopped on it. Looked back at the quarterback, made the play, ran for the touchdown, celebrated with my teammates in the end zone. Oh, yeah, it's something that you've seen. Just if you watched the Saints last year, something that they did, and we did it in practice. We were going against the Chargers. They did it against us as well. So I knew if I got the opportunity, I was going to bring the whole team with me. We were going to celebrate together. Oh, that's definitely what it is, just playing catch-up. It's difficult at the beginning, but, man, we have some great coaches who just help you out and put you in places where you can make plays, and they're helping you after practice, after meetings. They keep you in there just so you can catch up and be on pace with the other guys. So, it's difficult at first, but once you get going to it, I've been playing for a while, so I can pick up on certain things very quickly. So that helps out a lot.
That's Marcus Williams, man. Marcus Williams said it so himself. He said, we have some terrific coaches that put you in place to make plays. Terrific coaches. Big up to Aaron Glenn. Once again, Aaron Glenn is the guy that's helping all of these cornerbacks to reach their potential. Some should be a lot further along than others, but look what he did to a fantastic talent like a guy like Marshawn Lattimore. Look what he did with an undrafted guy like Ken Crawley. Made him an NFL, helped him to reach an NFL starter level caliber player. And then, of course, Marcus Williams, the cornerback, Marcus Williams, the safety, Von Bell, and all these other guys that's playing in the defensive back room. All those guys are reaping the great rewards of being around a guy like Aaron Glenn, who knows how to teach the game because he's been around the game as a player for almost 20 years worth of experience. So a fantastic testament to Aaron Glenn. Let's move to the next topic, DC. We're going to talk about Mr. A.J. Klein. The question, of course, we posed this question before, so if it might sound familiar, we posed this question, but we're bringing it back. We did it maybe 2 or 3 shows ago, I forget. But the question is A.J. Klein in trouble? Now, we watched this performance. Of course, you know how I feel. DC, of course, he feels differently. He also gave him a thumbs down during the thumbs down section. I don't agree that he's in trouble either. I don't think he's in trouble. I think the Saints know exactly what A.J. Klein's strengths and weaknesses are. Everybody gets beat every now and again. You know, I've seen Double D take a bad angle in the game. And again, so it happens to the best of us. But like I said, I still have faith in A.J. Klein. I still like Alex. I still have faith in A.J. Klein, Alex Anzalone, Double D, and all the rest of those guys. I have faith in those guys. And I think those guys, when it comes down to it, those guys are going to round out. He was 6th in tackles, and he finished with 3 tackles in the game. So, I mean, it's not like he didn't do anything. You know, he didn't blow the doors off, but he was he was still productive, though. 3 tackles and 6th on the team. He was tied with both Demario Davis and Manti Te'o in tackles, you know, tied for 3rd. So, I mean, he's not blowing the doors off, but he's still what I expect A.J. Klein to be. Not spectacular. He's not Luke Kuechly, but at the same time, he's still a solid linebacker that can give you a leader presence. He's a very smart player. He's tough as nails, and he's not afraid to stick his helmet in there and make plays happen. And I love his gumption. So at the end of the day, I still say it is more of a benefit to have a guy like A.J. Klein on your team than not to have him on your team. We'll just leave it at that. Now to get to the last part of the show, this of course is the Sports Coma question of the day. And that's what we're doing every show starting off now going forward. The question of the day for you guys out there, all you Saints-minded people out there that know about the Saints, I want you guys to answer this question. I don't care if you even know that much. If you're just listening and say, well, I can answer that question. I want every last one of you who's hearing this message to answer this question. Put it in the comment section. I want to know, does Marcus Williams, cornerback Marcus Williams now, cornerback, not the safety, but cornerback Marcus Williams, does he make the team over P.J. Williams, who's still injured, who is missing a lot of time? Does Marcus Williams make the team by kicking P.J. Williams off, by taking his spot? Is basically what we're asking you. Chime in, put it in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts is on the matter, and we will read some of you guys' comments in the next show about this matter. So that's the question. You have it. Now you got your homework. Now I expect you guys to do it. Chime in the comment section and tell us what you think. Does cornerback Marcus Williams, the free agent who came over from the Jets and the Texans, does he take P.J. Williams' job moving ahead? Yay or nay, or expound to your heart's content. Break it down. Well, that'll do it for the show for today, episode 220 on the Sports Coma. We enjoyed talking to you guys. As always, if you like the show, please feel free to go to our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/the PRO Media Network, and make a donation. You can donate one time or you can make monthly donations. It's all up to you. Also, join our social media pages at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those. The links are in the description section. Go ahead and join them up during the Facebook and Twitter pages. We blast out all the latest news on the Saints, the Pelicans, boxing news, all kind of stuff. So why would you want to go and search for Saints news when you can just sign up for our Facebook or Twitter page and have it directly to you all the time? So, you know, just to make life a little bit easier for you Saints fans out there. So from me and DC, thank y'all for joining us on the show tonight. Peace.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, and support the true independent artists.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.